And so I like that idea of going looking for trouble, or I call it the right trouble. The trick is to get into the right trouble, because the right trouble will provoke this dynamic of gifts and wounds, which is the object of waking up in life in terms of this story and this way of looking at it. And so back to the question about what if we just never never left the tree and stayed there, well, then nothing would be happening. There'd be no stories to tell. We wouldn't have ancestors. We wouldn't be here. So the whole thing is to get into the trouble of things, but hopefully get into the right trouble. And you could say the soul creates dramas in order to awaken the myth within itself, in order to bring attention to what's trying to live through us into the world. The soul will create dramas. The soul needs an outer drama to awaken to its inner myth and to awaken to what I'm calling that original agreement or first agreement. We won't get into it. It doesn't happen like a child grows up through the process of developing, the developmental process. Once you reach the place of, post-adolescence, the developmental process doesn't work anymore. Now it has to be these leaps of fate and faith and imagination. And so we leap or we fall into an outer drama that is secretly intended to awaken the inner myth that's the writing on the underside of the lot of life. And it also is an awakening to that original agreement that we made with the spirit and then we forgot. So rather than a punishment for an original sin, the purpose of suffering in this world becomes the labor pains needed to break open the divine seed set within our souls and recover the original agreement that unites not just the parts of a person, but through that person unites this world with the other world, unites the earthly world with the divine world. Humans are problematic because they are imbued with the divine. That's why. In other words, humans might be quite manageable if it wasn't for this seed of the divine inside people. And one thing that's interesting is if the seed of the divine doesn't awaken in a conscious way and become generous and capable of giving, it doesn't disappear, it distorts, and it awakens in a negative or destructive or blind way. There's no neutral. We are either on the road to becoming a genuine version of ourselves, or we are on the road of becoming a distortion of our genuine selves. That's the old idea. So in order to survive the early life circumstances and experiences, we have to make the first agreement a secondary issue. We make a series of second agreements with mom and dad, family members, community members, and so on, in order to fit in somehow, in order to receive attention, nourishment, and love. And in the meantime, our natural, instinctive, intuitive way of being becomes what's called second nature to us. I'm just playing with words. That our first agreement becomes second nature. Our natural self becomes repressed. This is the story of civilization. And I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm saying it does happen. And then there's supposed to be critical moments, initiatory moments, moments of awakening in which we see deeper than that and we see past that and we begin to realize we are unique and we are here on a particular journey. And that's the beginning of the road of life, which leads to the door of death. But in the meantime, creates the opportunity to become more conscious of our own nature and way of being, which gives us a kind of comfort in the world, but also more aware of what we are here to give and then what we need to heal in order to be able to give in bigger and bigger ways.